Hi Libra. So the overarching theme, as I've already mentioned, is the meditation brings answers. There's no rush to whatever it is you are considering in love. But what you're meant to do is the sun. Beautiful energy, even in the reverse. What you're meant to do is play. Libra. You know, meditation, we think, for many, it's daunting. Like, oh God, I've got to meditate? That sounds stressful, right? Especially for the Western mind. But meditation takes all forms. It can be very meditative just doing the dishes. It can be very meditative driving. And the reason that it's important to allow yourself moments and time to allow your brilliant intellect to have a break so that your heart can take over. And this happens sometimes when we're driving or doing dishes or doing something that feels very meditative, mowing the lawn, something, kind of repetitive like that. Our egoic mind loses interest in what's occurring, and it allows our true selves, our heart energy, to come forward and provide answers. So this is why it's going to be important. And so for you, Leo, or Libra, it's coming in as the sun energy. Like play. Enjoy. Don't work so hard to come up with a solution. It's working, overworking whatever it is you're thinking about in terms of love or considering in love. This is for coupled, single, doesn't matter. There's an invitation here and an opportunity to play, because that provides you that opportunity for your ego to quiet down and greater understandings to be brought forth from within you, so that you can make choices and decisions based on more balance, right? You Libra individual, you like to have balance. You don't just want to be your mind. Your mind is what you use, but your heart is who you truly are. And so you're being asked to drop into the heart more during the month of December. Now, I will say that, it's coming in for me in a big way. Very simplistic energy, actually. It's just play. Just play. You may even want to reconnect with friends from the past to engage in play. People who knew you when, with whom you have a connection based on childhood, which oftentimes feels more playful, before all the responsibilities and the worries and anxieties that often go with adulthood. I don't know, it's coming in that way. All right, so, and then what you're meant to not do or stop doing is the Six of Water. So this is really interesting, because as I feel it, there's this idea of play, right? Meet with friends, even from the past. But what you're meant to not do or stop doing is stop spending time. And this might help you, actually, going back to the past. Stop trying to force things to be how they were. That's how it feels like. Like if you are hung up on an ex, and you're thinking about them all the time, and you're romanticizing how great it used to be, this kind of thing, you're meant to stop doing that. That was then. This is now. You can certainly have fond memories, but don't live there, right? You have to be present. Here, play in the sunshine. When the sun is at its highest peak in the sky, everything is illuminated. Everything's joyful, full of life. Everything's clear. But when you're looking through the lens of the watery energy, you can't see things clearly. And there's a certain romanticism that goes with it. Like, oh, things used to be so great. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but they aren't the present moment. So that's what you're meant to not do or stop doing. And it may be that there could even be someone from the past who comes back in, and you're meant to not do that either. Like you can hang out with them or whatever, but don't romanticize the way it used to be. Like if an ex comes back in, don't be like, yeah, it was so good with that person. And then you're like, wait a minute. No, actually it wasn't. They didn't really treat me that great, or I didn't feel like I could be my real self without them wanting me to change a little bit. And so there's a huge emphasis here on that. And it's a little bit of a dichotomy here, because for me it's coming in as play and even revisit the past in a way that's joyful and playful. But it may be coming in that way in terms of what you're not meant to do, because you have to, in some ways, revisit the past in order to clear that energy. So it may be that if you're playing with people from the past, and it doesn't have to be from the past, it could also just be play, whatever you like to do. Certainly be outdoors as much as you can. Get out of your mind. Do activities outside. Even, running is very meditative. Anything that's kind of repetitive like that. Playing sports gets you out of your mind. Adult games. I forget what I was going to say about that, but anyway, so if, I know what I was going to say. So sometimes when you can be with your friends from the past, they can help you see things more clearly. Like, you could even question them, like, remember when I was with so-and-so, wasn't that great? And then they can, friends are so great with giving you a reality check, like, no, do you remember he or she did this? Or like, oh yeah. But a lot of times we romanticize the past, because we don't want to, be present. It's a distraction of the mind, a construct of the ego that allows us, that kind of, enjoys us being in the past, because it takes us out of the present moment, which is, there is only ever really the present moment where we can find happiness and joy and serenity. Okay, because very often, we look to the past as though, oh, it was so great. But then inevitably, right, the ego comes in and goes, why can't it be like that now? I'm missing that now. So then you go into that spiral of, the present moment isn't good enough. The past was the best, and so it's a very clever kind of construct of the ego, as I mentioned, to divert us into that nostalgia, the past nostalgia, because at first it feels good, and then it usually veers into, I don't have it now. What's wrong with me now? Then it goes into the self-judgment. It's very interesting energy. I'm not going to go on too much about that. And then we have what you can look forward to regardless is the King of Air. So this makes sense because it could be you, or it could be another air sign, a Gemini or Aquarius who's involved here. But I kind of feel like it's you, Libra, because it's a little bit of denial of the present moment. It goes back to this idea of, don't do this. This is not now. This is what was. And, play in the sun. Get out of your mind. If you feel a desire to connect with people from the past who knew you, in a way that was more playful to you, reconnect with them and just check in and see where your fantasies aren't, may not be in alignment with what was actually occurring in the past. I don't know. It's really interesting. And so this is what we can look forward to regardless. A little bit of denial, maybe a lot of denial. It will depend on, of course, upon your individual circumstances. It could also be that you are, with someone who is in denial in some way. It doesn't have to be an air sign, but very likely it is. But we do have the messenger of fire here, which goes beautifully with the sun, all this fiery sun energy, right? An invitation to events, social activities, everyone included, everyone, again, it feels very like games for me, like adult games, like sporting events, and if you are a Libra who doesn't enjoy that, it's even going to things like that, or just being out in the sunshine and playing in the way that you like to play, stroll through parks, invite others. Don't just do your normal, me and my partner, or me as a more solo person enjoying these things. If you have an invitation here, it's fun energy. Everyone's included here, which is really, really beautiful. So you might want to do this yourself and, have a little social gathering, invite a bunch of different people, potluck kind of thing. Or if you're invited, you're certainly being encouraged to go. Wow, interesting. And this is getting more clarity for me too. There's something better. There's something better than what you are wishing for in the past, but you're just not paying attention. There's something better for you now. But if you're living in the past, you can't see it. You have like your blinders on. And it doesn't mean that you always do this, but during the month of December, it's certainly a focus. There may be something that happened for you in December, in the month of December. And it may just be all the holidays creates this idea of looking backwards, So you'll figure it out. You're such a beautifully balanced, loving sign, wanting everything to work out. And so spend more time with yourself rather than asking others for guidance and assistance. And you can certainly ask your guides and angels are always present. You can even ask to be more open to receiving their guidance, But anyway, let's move on because I want to get to we have, under the deck, we have the Messenger of Fire. And then we also have the Lovers under that in this deck. And then underneath the Maiden of Pentacles, we do have the Lovers again. So definitely romantic partnership is very strongly on your mind during this period. And even you may be contemplating a choice in love. And this is why you're meant to spend more time on it from a place where you're in the present and not still looking back with a nostalgic rose-colored glasses type of energy in the bedroom and just in general love and romance, Libra. Okay, let's just clear it out into the physical and sexual intimacy. So what you're meant to do here is really, truly, Libra, pay attention to the details, the minutia of what it means to be in partnership, in sexual, physical partnership with another. Everything here matters, right? So if you are in the bedroom and your partner says, oh, I wish you would do that, or I like it when you do this, or can I do this for you? Everything that is being said, done, whatever, matters in terms of what you are contemplating on the larger scale, whatever you are possibly considering. We have the Lovers under both, under the deck and both. 2 cards down each one. So it's bubbling up under there, whether you're conscious of it or not. This is why it's so important. Like, pay attention. If you are kind of going through the motions with a physical act with a partner, and if you're not physically or sexually active in the moment, pay attention here to all the ways in which you want to be. You're getting clear on what you want. Are you wanting just someone who can roll around with you and can please you physically, or are you looking for someone who can also engage you intellectually, mentally, who can laugh with you? You're fine-tuning here. So this is why it's so important to pay attention. Everything does matter during the month of December. Not to scare you or take the joy out of physical intimacy. It can always be done with a joyful heart, but it is important to pay attention here and have those conversations with your partner. Whatever you are building here will have lasting consequences. This is why I say this, because it's Pentacles energy. What you're meant to not do or stop doing is stop acting like it doesn't matter. With the Ace of Pentacles, you're wanting to build something more stable, whether you're coupled or single. And with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, in terms of what you're meant to not do, don't pretend or don't act like everything doesn't matter, is how it's feeling. Let me see if I can articulate it more clearly. So what you're meant to not do or stop doing is the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Don't give up on the present moment. That's how it is. Don't give up on the present moment. Keep putting energy in. You don't want to walk away too soon if that's what you're considering. You don't want to, even if it's not walk away from a marriage, but walk away from an argument. There's still you're still working on it here. This is what you're being encouraged to do. So, and if you're single, don't give up here. And then with the Nine of Cups, in terms of what you can look forward to regardless in the bedroom, we have the Wish card. Beautiful energy again, and it's the Nine of Cups here in terms of what you can expect or look forward to in the bedroom. Dreams coming true, wishes coming true, is based upon this. We always have free will. It's not just a given. Readings aren't just given to you. You engage with the energies and you take them and you use them with your own free will how you want to. This is why there's a very kind of reflective, slow-moving energy here for you. Even in the bedroom, everything matters. And if you pay attention to what your partner is saying or not saying, or you're paying attention to what you want in love, say you have an opportunity to play with several partners and you're like, I don't know if I want to keep doing that. Does that feel good to me? And you're really getting clear on what you want. Maybe you are have like a sex partner, but they don't match you intellectually, or maybe they don't have the same kind of quirky sense of humor that you might have. And it's becoming, you're attuning more and more to what you want, so you can have what you want 100%. You're not just wanting 60, 70% of what you want in love, you're wanting the whole thing. And it looks like you have the ability here to possibly experience that in terms of your sexual desires, needs, and wants. But you have to be clear. You know, the Nine of Cups, it's a wish card because you've been very clear. You know, we've all heard the stories of, you know, the genie in the bottle or whatever, and then you get one wish, and the person says, I wish something, and then the genie grants it. And like, wait, no, that's not what I meant. You know, it's kind of like that. Like, be really clear here. Libra. All right, I'm going to close your reading because it's gone long. But I wish you much love in all things. Take your time. Be kind and gentle to yourself. And I will see you in the new year.